Open letter to the Anti-WTH's conspiracy. The SS Polyflop sets sail for stupidity. Dear cast of the molasses-fueled mediocre mob, first off, let me just say, congratulations. You've officially filed the dumbest verbal lawsuit in the history of unsolicited ramblings. A lawsuit so baffling, it comes with a cruise ship, a mole hunt, AI ghost followers, and a bullet threat, all wrapped up in Facebook Live filters and knockoff Funko Pops. Bravo! I mean it. Netflix couldn't have scripted a better satire. Law and Order, Delusion Unit, writes itself. Y'all wanted your names in the filing. So now they're going on a plaque labeled terminally dumb. You didn't start a movement. You started a menagerie, a soap opera for people too bitter for bingo and too broke for court costs. And the best part, you all did it to yourselves. Let's start with your ringleader, Mr. $10 million counterclaim. You showed up to this lawsuit with cargo pants, a pig farm threat, and a resume that includes tax evasion and offshore cash funnels, and then called yourself a dangerous... Where's my beat? I have a button for this. You called yourself a dangerous... Sir, the only thing dangerous about you is how large you are. I'm afraid you might sit on me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not what it says. The only thing dangerous about you is how many times you say, I filed another lawsuit like it's a personality trait or heart failure from a combination of bad diet and bad decisions. You told the internet, I drink a cup of coffee and a cup of Spite every morning. Cool. I drink a cup of nobody asked. You're not Tony Montana. You're a rejected extra from The Biggest Loser. Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud, you Brokeback Mountain reject. You brag about laundering money and then wonder why nobody takes you seriously in a federal court. You even bragged about laundering money offshore, working in Venezuela, of course, and filing $50 million lawsuits like it's fantasy football, then had the audacity to whimper about microphones picking up your bathroom banter in court. Don't worry. I'm sure they heard you're crying in prison, too. You're the only man who calls himself a Columbia law grad while debating copyright claims on YouTube with women holding bedazzled Funko Pops. Guess it is easy to impress bottom dwellers lower than yourself. You called this your content farm. You're right. It is a farm, just not the kind with crops. This one grows lawsuits, delusions, and possibly STDs. You claimed, I'm going to torture this guy. It'll be fun. Spoiler alert, Hannibal. That's not what the First Amendment is for. But thank you for your exhibit-worthy quote. I'm sure the judge will appreciate it. Let's move on to Fleasa, queen of copyright strikes and typos. You declared, I'm not pissed off. Char didn't piss me off. I'm just done with these people. I'm going to move forward, and if she gets hit first, so be it. Wow. That's not the unhinged rant of someone wielding YouTube like a vengeful sledgehammer. That's strategy. Lisa, your lawsuit logic is as sound as your thumbnails. Loud, pixelated, and missing context. And also falsely advertising. Can we just say, come on now. That's screaming, they used my voice like a Teletubby on fire. That lost its teeth from chewing on marbles and huffing an ounce of weed qualifies as legal doctrine? You turned free giveaways into federal exhibits. You called fan art a felony. You said someone using a picture of a toilet was intimidation. You were the only person in the country who thinks a bathroom fixture and a Funko Pop are grounds for civil litigation. Girl, relax. You are not Banksy. You are not a victim. You are poorly filtered. You're a poorly filtered screenshot on YouTube. They use my logo. They use my voice. They use my atoms. Sir, your logo looks like it was designed in a Microsoft Paint by a raccoon on a sugar high. You scream defamation every time someone says your name louder than a whisper, yet you've spent months turning a copyright claim into a low-budget Marvel villain origin story. You said you're not a scammer because people gifted you money. Yes, that's how grifting works. You're one thank you for your support away from a trailer park Elizabeth Holmes. You then promised to put Fleasa and the walrus in your next legal filing. Fantastic. I can't wait to not read paragraph 62, Fleasa's TikTok confusion. You really are trying to turn federal court into a Reddit AITA.
You know what
Tori,
AITA is, right?
They ask me anything? Is that the...
No.
No, am I the asshole? Tori, meanwhile, spent 40 minutes explaining how she won't take opioids for her knee replacement, only to casually announce, if anyone's got any extras, mail them to me. Richard said I should send him some. You're a health insurance ad away from an undercover DEA visit. Take your spittle and lick a few more Doc Martens and calm the F down. And of course, Bruce. The only thing thicker than your motions is your inability to proofread. You argued against amendments like they were personal insults. You filed in oppositions with more cut and paste than a fifth grader's essay on volcanoes. You're the legal version of spilled pudding. Even your own filings read like they were drafted by an over-caffeinated fax machine. You joined Facebook groups to get secret audio, then had the nerve to act surprised when you were hit with judicial side-eye. You're not counsel, you're content. You're not feared, you're pitied. A half-baked burnout clinging to the fumes of relevance, screaming into the void for a dopamine drip of troll applause. Your so-called rage isn't power, it's the last tantrum of a man who's realized he squandered his brain cells chasing clout over credibility. Decades in law, and this is your legacy? Not justice, not wisdom, just infamy in a punchline costume. You didn't rise, you spiraled. Congratulations, you're infamous. Like a skid mark is memorable. And Ray, old man that stares at goats, bless your tired soul, you said, I'm just a humble older man doing videos in my garage, and then proceeded to greenlight the dissection of Jeremy's family life like a rotisserie chicken. You're not humble. You're one hot mic away from a defamation sandwich with a side of cease and desist. Ray, no one cares that you raise eagles. We'd care more if you raised standards. You claim to be the humble grandpa who just stumbled into a conspiracy. Buddy, you're not Gump. You're just gullible with Wi-Fi. You cry on stream like it's an audition for a Lifetime original called Men Who Stare at Lawsuits. You're out here not wanting to be involved while appearing in a 6-hour live stream entitled Germ Must Be Stopped Volume 39. You're not trapped. You're addicted to attention. You're not documenting history. You're huffing it. Puff, puff, pass. Together, you form the only conspiracy in history that brags about being too broke to matter while simultaneously suing for tens of millions of dollars and claiming you're being watched by private investigators that you hired. You shouted into the stream, I'm the mole, I'm not the mole.
My mother died. My mother didn't die.
I'm not the mole, I'm the mole. Relax. This isn't The Departed. No one is sneaking government secrets out in a loofah. Speaking of loofahs, yes, we saw your color-coded loofah sex system. You announced it like it was a UN declaration. Volmit, you write exposés that sound like rejected fan fiction from InfoWars. You claim Jeremy controls mayors, cops, and YouTubers, and your only proof is a screen grab and a grudge. You're still mad you didn't get a press pass for the town hall where someone offered you a Tic Tac and a cease and desist. Your blog is read by fewer people than a J.C. Penney catalog. You claim to be about transparency, but we've seen more screenshots from Club Penguin that hold up better in court. You're not Woodward. You're Wish.com WikiLeaks. And of course, back to you, Fleasa. You capped off the night of conspiracies, copyright threats, and Kool-Aid punchlines with, "I'm not a scammer. I'm just receiving gifts with gift cards from people who trust me to do things." Sir. Sir, that's the plot of every grifter documentary on Netflix. They just trusted me. I don't know what happened. Now there's $46,000 knee and no receipts. And finally, Gaiter Queen Robbie. You claim you're not involved.
Like
you're
I
just
spelled that?
Yeah, Gaiter. Gaiter. You claim you're not involved. You're just a man with reptiles and a heart. Except you've spent months chasing clout on live streams like an off-brand Steve Irwin in flip-flops screaming, "Jeremy threatened Guapo!" Then brace for it. You accuse a fence of being evidence. Not a weapon, not a recording, a fence. Somewhere out there, a Home Depot manager deserves an award for unintentionally becoming a co-conspirator in your fever dream. You scream "stalker" at the top of your lungs while casually broadcasting drone footage, camping out on public property like a deranged surveyor and spinning so many logical fallacies that Euclid himself would punch drywall if he saw your argument map. You donated that fence, genius. You built the boogeyman, then cried when it started doing its job. You wanted a wall and got a mirror and hated what stared back. You helped fund a lawsuit, patted yourself on the back for it, then pivoted to calling everyone else a grifter. You act like the anti-fraud sheriff of the internet, all while passing the same hat you just accused others of stealing from. It's like watching a raccoon hold a press conference from inside the trash can. You're so mad that someone moved plywood in Otter Creek, you're calling it a federal crime scene. Spoiler alert. Plywood moves. You'd call a breeze tampering with evidence if it didn't ask your permission first. You treat shadows like suspects and bird calls like coded messages. By day, you're posting duck-lipped lizard selfies, desperate for digital affirmation from your dwindling clout cult. By night, you're crying foul on conspiracies you invented, weaving them into a timeline that makes QAnon look like an Excel spreadsheet. You're Florida's least influential Batman. No suit, no purpose, and the bat signal's been replaced with a vape cloud and a GoFundMe link. You're not the hero of any story. The only thing you've successfully hunted is your own credibility, and you left it bleeding next to a bag of expired Slim Jims. You're a campfire tale told by forest rangers, a walking caution sign with Wi-Fi. You're talked about on wildlife forums and passed around in conversation training as a live conservation training, as a live demonstration of what not to do with a hunting license or a functioning brainstem. In conclusion, the only criminal enterprise here is your delusion that you're the victims. You keep claiming Jeremy is the cult leader, but you're the ones reading court filings like horoscopes, hunting invisible moles, and fantasizing about federal courtroom takeovers like you're about to star in Ocean's 11 Anti-WTH edition. The best part? You weaponized fake names, fake threats, fake illnesses, fake conspiracies, and now you're shocked that the judge might, read the filings? You people formed a cult of circular logic, sarcasm, and the world's worst decor and breath, frankly. You made a fake lawsuit to fight a real one, a fake Facebook page to hide a real face, and a fake narrative to silence a man whose actual business you just can't stop watching. You didn't break the system. You didn't rig the court. You just aren't that smart. You said it all yourselves. Signed, Shizzywhiznut, consumer of coffee, destroyer of conspiracies, and your worst algorithmic nightmare, and still your daddy.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down with Shizzywhiznut.